In 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Hello, good afternoon. And after a lot of tinkering, this is the Dubai Tour preview. I am delighted to be once again joined by Jay Thomson. Jay, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks to yourself.
Very well, thank you. It's been a while since we've had you on. You've had a nice long winter to rest the old bones. How was winter for you?
Yeah, it was a good winter, you know. The weather was actually pretty good this year in Germany. When I say good, it was above zero. Not too much snow, a little bit of rain. You know, so to be able to ride the long hours this year was much easier than previous years. So, you know, I'm excited to see what comes out of this. I think a lot of guys will have the same sort of feeling coming out of winter, you know, that it was a good winter. You could actually, last year, this time I spent more hours on the rollers on the trainer than I had on the road, and now vice versa. You know, I've spent a lot more hours being able to ride on the road, not die of hypothermia.
In terms of your winter, how long do you spend off the bike totally? How much of a kind of holiday do you give yourself?
Yeah, I took 4 weeks this year. So I finished in China in the Genzing tour. And then I took, 14, 15 days, and then I flew down to South Africa for training camp. But yeah, we rode the bike 3-4 times while we were down there for the week, but really just easy, not really riding the bike. And then I took another week off when I got back home, and then I in earnest started the first week of December actually, so yeah, almost 6 weeks then, 5.5 weeks off the bike.
And during your winter time, obviously you've got a small child, so is it a lot of family time?
Oh yeah, it's all I try and do, and try and give my wife a bit of time off from the little one, you know, do the night feeds, wake up early, play with the little one, try and keep her that mommy gets also a bit of downtime, a bit of recovery.
And then, obviously, you've probably been watching some of the cycling starting early in January. Does it kind of give you itchy feet because you know you're not starting yourself until February, or are you quite happy to have that kind of longer period of rest?
To be honest, yeah, in one way you're like, oh, it would be nice to start earlier, but in another way you think to yourself, if I race till October and I have to start in January, it's just like, you know, so in a way, yeah. To go all the way down to down under and start racing there, or I don't know. I've always enjoyed starting in the desert the last 3 years, you know, with Qatar before, and now with Dubai the last 2 years. You know, I'm pretty happy with being able to have an easier start into the season and then go into the classics.
And looking at your race schedule, obviously you're starting in Dubai. Do you know the next few races you're doing after that?
Yeah, I'll go back and do the opening weekend in Belgium with Omloop and Kuurne-Brussels-Kuurne. And then after that, Paris-Nice. And then from Paris-Nice, obviously we've got a long list for San Remo. Maybe San Remo in there. If not, then on to E3 and Ghent-Wevelgem, Flanders, Charles-de-Place-Roubaix. And then that's the classics almost. Pretty much that's the classics done. Then it pretty much starts with the tour racing. And I'll do the Romandy and then hopefully one of the Grand Tours this year. If not, I'll be at the 2 Norway races again, Dauphiné. Kind of got an outline of what's going to come for the season. It's pretty much exactly what I did last year, and hopefully this year we'll have a Grand Tour put in there somewhere.
And would that be kind of like the goal, the idea of if I could race one race, would it be the Tour, would it be Giro?
Yeah, look, obviously to go to the Giro it would be nice to support Louis, but to go to the Tour, obviously I've never done the Tour, it would be great to go and support Kev, David. Somebody's at my door now. Do you mind if I answer that?
Go get it. We'll pause it just now and then we'll come back.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Where are we starting from?
And we're back on now. So you were mentioning maybe you spoke about Louis very briefly there. Obviously, he's come back to Dimension Data. A welcome return home, I would imagine.
Yeah, of course. It was always good having Louis on the team. When you've got a super little climber like him, and he's a quiet and reserved guy, but for me, he's super talented. So, if I could get the chance to go and support him at one of the Grand Tours, even if it's the Giro or the Vuelta, I'd be really happy to do that. With having shed a lot of weight again this off season, I'm pretty climbing alright again. So I can be able to get deeper into races to maybe help better in sections where he needs it. I think his biggest downfall has always been the crosswinds and those sort of things where he's never really had a big guy to look after him. So, of course that would be great. And then obviously you always think about the Tour de France. Every bike rider wants to do the Tour de France once in their career. If it can go help Cav beat Merckx's record, that would be great. But at the end of the day, I just want to race my bike. So if I don't do a Grand Tour, last year I did 86 race days and I was pretty happy and I had a good season, so I can't complain. If I do 86 race days again this year, I'm happy. As long as I'm racing my bike and doing my job and, being happy, that makes me happy, if it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, what you could almost say you're entering the veteran stage now. It's you're 32 now.
Yeah, April turned 32 this year. So I don't know. A lot of guys have found their legs at 31, 32. So after last year having a good season, I'm starting to get this confidence that maybe this has to. My old diesel engine took a while to get warm, and it's I've got a 2-year contract now, so I'm giving it everything again for another 2 years, and let's see what comes of it. If hopefully I can do another 5 years, or maybe I only can do 2 more years. Maybe I just run out of the enthusiasm that I've got now and what I've had last year. At the moment now, if I can, I'd race till I'm 60, but my wife might disagree with you and disagree with me, but
do you still?
I still love riding my bike, and every year it just seems to I get more enjoyment out of it. Like I enjoy more. Maybe it's because I have more of a cut role and I'm better at my role than what I'm doing. Being a support rider that has an actual clear cut job. I think it's put me in a different mental place. I don't know. It really helps. And maybe it's having a child. Maybe having a daughter changed me and made me, realize that I'm not just doing it for me. I'm doing it for her too. So whatever I do, if I do my job half-assed, then that means she might have I can't give her the best life that she needs. So that also gives me the motivation when it's 0 degrees and the rain is coming from the ground outside, and I go training outside instead of riding in the killer on the trainer.
You mentioned your role there. Obviously, just focusing in on Dubai. We arrive here. It's a sprinter's race. You've got Cavendish. The team have added Julian Vermont into the mix as well to strengthen the lead-out train, I would imagine. Your specific role, we've seen you in the past here, on the front from flag drop till about 20k to go. I mean, it looks like such a demanding and hard role. How do you prepare for that? How do you have the energy, the legs to just hit, I don't know what, 350 watts? Is that what you're pushing out maybe for 3-4 hours?
Yeah, it just depends on how strong the brake is. If the brake is strong, then you look at over 300 watt averages for 4 hours, 5 hours. I don't know.
Do you enjoy that pain?
There's like a thrill of the chase, Some people say I'm not well in the head, that I go till I catch the break and then I give up. That's almost how I see it. My goal is to bring them back because I know I've got the best sprinter in the world. And it's actually almost easy for me to do it because, the further I can go in a race, if I get to some days to 10Ks to go, that means somebody else that takes over from me can do his job further in. That means the next guy behind him can do his job further in. and that leaves more guys for the final kilometre, or it leaves, you know, Renshaw and Cav with one other guy with 1k to go, or you know how it is. We're not a lead-out train like Quickstep in the final that has one guy ride and then 10k's to go. They kind of, okay, other teams must help or they give up, and then they do a full lead-out with the rest of the guys. We kind of use everybody to the best and fulfill everything that we can do. So the further I can go, the more guys Cav has in the final, or more guys Edvald has in the final, or you know, whoever I can support. So for me, that's my drive. That's what gets me up in the morning to get on the bike, and that's what gets me going in the races. When my legs are sore, I think, you know, so are the guys in the break. Their legs are also sore. If my legs are sore, yeah, I had to ride the front up in, you know, but it's not always easy sitting on the wheels. Maybe in Dubai it's easy to sit on the wheels, but some races where it's up, down, left, right, riding the front's actually the easiest place.
We've spoken before about like riding to a certain wattage, or trying to keep the brake at a certain gap, and commentators love to talk about not catching the brake too early. Is that always in your mind? Do you have a clear point of, I would like to catch them at say 20k to go? Are you aware of not wanting to catch them too early?
Yeah, of course, because obviously it all depends also on the race. If it's a complete flat race like Dubai, it doesn't matter where you catch the brake, because there isn't a climb that's going to cause a frenzy of attacks and that kind of stuff where it can break the race apart. But if you go to let me think, Fluet, and you catch the brake with 50k's to go, all you do is open yourself up to the race exploding. Everybody's going to attack full gas, and if you've got a guy that's got a punchy finish, you know, like Edvald, then you almost kill him. You kill a guy like that, because he has to then make sure he's in the front all the time or whatever. So yeah, of course, in every race you have to think, okay, my earliest point to catch him is at 20k to go, and the latest you want to catch him is at 1k to go, because in the sprint race, you know, it doesn't matter when you catch him, as long as you catch him before they have the finish line in any race. So, you know, we always have these goals where we say, okay, the ideal zone to catch him is at 10k's, you know, because in the sprint race, the race is too fast, no one's going to ride away in the last 10k's. But in a little bit of a bumpy race, there's a climb in the last 10k's, you want to time it almost perfectly. You don't want to catch them before the climb, and you don't want to catch them when they've got, or let them have too much time, you know, over a climb at the end. So it can be a little bit of a tricky situation, because, you know, if the brake is strong, they can hold the power. If you know the guys in the brake, and you know, okay, the guys are going to fade you, if you've chased them 100 times before in your career, you know when you're going to catch them. But when you have some big engines up front, you have to be careful, because sometimes bringing them back can cost you a bit, and you can misjudge it. It happens. You know, that's how breakaways stay away. You misjudge it.
Yeah.
You think I've got it under control, and then suddenly somebody pulls a rabbit out of the hat.
And starting in Dubai again, last season, obviously, the Queen, well, they call it the Queen stage, I suppose. The Hatta Dam stage was cancelled because of the wind. You've not ridden that stage before, is that correct?
No, this is only my second time doing Dubai, so yeah, last year with the stage being cancelled, it was a bit disappointing, because not to be able to see that, what it's like. But yeah, I look forward to it this year. I heard it's not an easy day, so, you know, and then finishing up a steep little kicker, it's a little wall, but you know, what the sprinters can sprint up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, most of the stages are the same as last year. I think the opening couple of stages are identical. I think maybe the third stage is a slightly different finish, the final stage is the same. I mean, you've seen these roads before. Dubai seems like a good place to start. The transfers seem minimal, the hotels look lovely. I mean, is it a nice race to go to?
Yeah, look, I think it's actually, for a guy like me, it's a great race to start at. You know, it's I get a bit of workout done, because, you know, riding the front, it's not just sitting in the wheels doing 100 watts. You know, and also for you know, for the sprinters, it's a good place to test where they are at in their sprinting and how fast they, like the winter was with their speed, you know, with the speed in the legs. And, you know, then also comes the big lavish hotels, the easy transfers, the 25-degree weather that you're riding in for a week. You know, it kind of gives you that break away from being cold Europe, and also gives you that break away from having to be pushing full gas on the pedals all day. You know, because when you go to training camp, it's not just riding around diddly-diddly. You know, when you come to Dubai, it could be easier, but you can practice your lead-outs. Teams, I think that's really important for a lot of teams, is that they get to practice before the season starts, before they go to the Giros or the Tour or the Vuelta kind of races, you know, the big ones, where they get to wax their lead-outs and know, okay, we need to work on it, or we've done good work at training camp before.
And we've had a few moves, big moves this season. As this is a sprinters race, we've got Kittel, who's obviously now at Katusha. Christoph made way for him, he's away to UAE. Viviani's now at Quick-Step. Viviani's already shown good form in Australia. Degenkolb's shown good form in Mallorca. So already there's a number of riders here who you guys at Dimension Data will be looking at and thinking, yeah, they're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, of course. You know, sprinters race, we've got the Manix Missile. You know, he's the fastest guy in the world, so you know he's always going to be fast. You know, no matter what it comes to, he's going to be fast and he's going to be up there in the sprint. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Katusha go with Kittel being the new man and not Christoph. It'll be interesting how Christoph's UAE team stands up behind him. It'll be interesting to see Viviani, how has he recovered from the jet lag of flying from Australia back to Italy and now back down here. You know, that's a lot of travel in, 10 days that he's done it in. I think your body takes a bit of a beating. So, is his legs as good as they were down in Australia? Is he going to be good enough to go against Degenkolb, who looks like he's on the up this year?
And then we've got some of the guys who had big races last season. Groenewegen, you know, he took the Champs-Élysées win last year. He's only 24. He will continue to improve and get better. Colbrelli, who had a fairly sensational year with Bahrain. He won a stage in Paris-Nice. I'm sure you remember that day. It was a fairly horrible day in the saddle.
Yeah, a guy like Sonny, you know, I've got a lot of respect for him, and I really like him as a guy on the bike and off the bike. He's a real, you know, he's a real good bike rider. But to be honest, I don't know if he has the true speed of being able to go against a guy like Mark or against a guy like Marcel. You know, these guys are they fast. You know, Sonny's got true grit. Sonny's one of those guys that he hangs it tough, and he's always going to be there in the final in the sprint. He will. Yeah, maybe he surprises me and he's got more speed in the final, but I will be surprised if he's fast now, because then it gives up what he's actually good at, being able to be really gritty and win the hard man races. You know, he's a little bit like Degenkolb. You know, Degenkolb wins the races that are all day like this, and then you come into the final. So yeah, it's always interesting when you have these super fast guys like Christoph, like Cav, like Marcel, Viviani, and then you've got these I don't even call them outsiders, but these guys that are gritty, like Degenkolb and Colbrelli sprinting on the backside of it. You know, and then you've got Groenewegen that's always going to be there. He's fast. He's proved it time and time again that if he gets a good run at the line, he's hard to beat. So, you know, and a lot of these sprinters haven't sprinted against the best. They've sprinted all by themselves. You know, they've all been at different races to sprint against themselves. So it'll be interesting to see when they all come here to see what the clash of the titans they do here. You know, it's always an exciting race, I think, for the final. Yeah, maybe the races are pretty boring from the sense of watching it on TV, but when they come to the sprints, I think they're pretty exciting to see how the fastest men in the world have got through the winter.
Yeah, and bonus seconds hugely important for the overall. 10, 6 and 4 on the line, which makes a sprinter who would potentially struggle up the Hatterdam be able to pick up bonus seconds and then limit the losses. We've seen riders like both Kittel and Cavendish previously really hang tough on that little kicker and finish kind of top 10. So I mean, there's 4 big sprint stages, so if we get one sprinter who dominates, they will tend to go on and win the overall. However, this year I'm not too sure we get one sprinter who dominates. I think we could see it split up amongst some of the guys, and there's a few intermediate sprints that you might notice. I think stage 2, the first one, comes after like 15k, so it'll be a bit of chaos.
Coming to play, you'll see it. They will.
Yep.
And it won't be that Rue might not be chasing them, but Katusha might say, Marcel might say, nah, I need 3 seconds on Viviani before Rotterdam, you know, I need those extra seconds. So, or you've got Degenkolb that keeps him coming third, you know, he needs to find seconds. The team will just keep it together. And on these big roads, unfortunately, it's quite easy to keep it together. You know, to let a break go is, if the peloton doesn't want to let it go, it's really hard. But if the peloton wants it to go, it goes straight away. But you know, those days where intermediate sprints are within 10-15 minutes of racing, they always make interesting starts.
Yeah, everybody will be on the rollers and panic amongst the peloton.
Speed full out the blocks after the 10 cups of coffee or 10 espressos at breakfast.
And if you had to put a prediction on it, Jay, who do you think is going to walk away at the end of the week, the winner?
I'd like to say Kev. I think he had a good winter, so I like to back my own teammate because that's who I am, and I also believe in him. So it's not that I'm just saying Kev because he's my teammate. I know he's the fastest guy in the world. He's won this race before last year. I don't know if it was bad luck or just maybe it was already the virus showing or whatever was happening for him. You know, we didn't win the overall, but he was up there. You know, so I think it's really possible that he can win again this year. You know, I won't put it past Viviani. I won't put it past Degenkolb. You know, I don't know what Marcel's done. I haven't seen him race. I haven't seen him train. I don't know what he's doing. So, of course, he's fast. He's a big man. He's strong. He's got unbelievable power. So let's see. I think it's wide open. I don't think it's, as you say, I don't think it's going to be one sprinter dominating. If there is one, I'll eat my words. I'll be surprised. Because I think a lot of sprinters, because of teams changing, a lot of guys had, you know, like Kev had an unfortunate year last year. So, you know, I think it's one of these years where a lot of guys have got a point to prove, you know. Yeah,
and it's difficult for a rider like Kittel to change team and immediately gel with his lead-out train. I hear what you say about the travel. I was very impressed with Viviani in Tour Down Under. Looking at the lineups, he's got Sabatini, Stibar, Terpstra, Lampa. He's got, in my opinion, a really long and quality lead-out train. So I think I'm going to hang my hat on Viviani, which I think is a first for me ever to predict a Viviani victory. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be fascinating watching, especially to see how the riders who have changed teams, how they cope with the lead-out trains. And I'm really looking forward to seeing your face on the front of the TV for at least 3 hours a day.
I hope so too. At least I'll get fit while I'm here.
So Jay, thank you very much. Hope you have a good race, and I hope Cavendish does the goods for you.
Thanks very much, David. I appreciate it. And thanks for having me again. Always enjoy it.
No worries.